All right, welcome everyone to RUAC Spoon Challenge 28, the wonderful template by yours truly, although actually I can't claim credit for the design. It's actually a design that I was told a friend's mother had this implement that she referred to as a spurtle. And my understanding was always that a spurtle was more of a dowel-like instrument of Scottish origin that was used for stirring things like porridge primarily, so that they could sort of whisk the porridge to get it nice and creamy smooth with steel-cut oats. But in doing some research, I found out that there is another type of spurtle called a Couthie Spurtle, C-O-U-T-H-I-E, I believe, Couthie Spurtle, which is primarily used for flipping oat cakes on a griddle. So it's more of a flat spatula-like instrument. So my friend had pictures of this Couthie Spurtle that his mother had and asked if I could make her a replica of it because hers was worn out and it was getting beat up and she wanted another one. So I ended up basically, taking from the pictures, making the template and carving her a version of it in black birch, and she ended up loving it. And so I've had this template since then, and I had played around on my own version of it with doing slightly narrower, some slightly wider. You can play around a lot with the side profile in terms of the amount of curve. It's not hollowed like a spoon. It's purely a flat surface. And obviously you would want to get it down relatively thin out it towards the tip for being able to, like with any other flipping device or spatula, you want to be able to get underneath whatever it is that you're cooking. So that was pretty much the origin of this design, and it's where it came from. So I can't claim credit for the actual design, so to speak, although I'm sure I've kind of slightly modified it because I was going off of photographs. But anyway, that's how it came about. And as I was mentioning before we started recording, I have very embarrassingly not managed to actually carve one for today's show and tell. For a litany of reasons, primarily just that my house has been torn apart for the last 3 months with various renovations that are going on. And life has been crazy. So between that and childcare for our granddaughter and everything else, I've had no time for doing anything, which is, again, as I think I mentioned on the last show and tell, why I've not been on Rise Up and Carve pretty much at all for the last 2.5, 3 months. So there we go. There's our introduction. With that, I've seen wonderful posts on Instagram, so I can't wait for everybody to show their versions of this Spurtle. So by show of hands, somebody wave, I will spotlight you and you can show us what you got. All right, Isaac. Let me just be sure to unmute yourself and I will spotlight you. Oh, and by the way, if everybody else could make sure that you're muted, just so that the camera doesn't inadvertently shift focus to you. Thank you. All right, Isaac, what you got?
So I was sort of pushed for time this go around, so I just made a Scottish Spurtle. I had never made one before. Okay,
excellent. Wonderful.
It's made out of pecan wood.
Pecan. That's wow. I've never seen pecan wood before. How was it to carve?
It had some twisty grain.
Okay.
It was in a branch, so maybe that had something to do with it.
Yeah. Nice. So now, how did you do any research into a regular Spurtle?
Do you mean the Scottish?
Like a Scottish Spurtle, like how it's by regular. I mean the one like you're showing. It's basically a dowel for whisking oats.
Right. Yeah.
Like how did you come up with your design? Is what I guess I'm trying to get at.
I knew like thanks to like Phil and a couple other people, I knew that they had like a thistle on top. So
Yep.
I just did my best to make the thistle,
Okay.
and I just used the taper design and put some small facets on there.
Nice. Excellent.
Uh,
And did you do all of this just with a Sloyd knife, right?
right.
Excellent. Well done.
Thank
All
you.
righty. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okie doke. Well, great job and thank you. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've seen several with some really cool thistle type elements at the end of the handle. Some people can get really fancy with it.
Right.
So yeah, very, very cool. Great job. All right. Who would like to go next? Hey, George. I see George over there with Alan. He's over in Israel at their Spoon Fest. Excellent. Who would like to go next? Wave a hand. Anybody? All right, Jurgen. Let me spotlight you. All right, take it away.
Good. Yeah, so I tried to. First one I did, they're all done out of cedar.
Wow. That is gorgeous. Beautiful job.
I did that one. You can see the profile on that one there.
Yep.
Somewhat close to the template, and then
yeah, very close. Very, very nice. Hey, let me ask you a quick question. Did you do all that with blades, or did you do any sanding?
I did. I had to sand out these areas here.
Okay. Yeah, the transition.
The transition, because the wood is. Yeah, if anybody's worked with cedar, they'll understand. It's got like these very thin layers, and
Yeah.
when you cut to one, it leaves that, and then you try to cut the next one, and it cuts the next one, and you just
Yeah.
keep doing. So I ended up more or less just sanding out the transition spots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it was driving me crazy.
Well, it's beautiful. The cedar certainly is gorgeous wood. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it is I started out with the draw knife. The draw knife it helped a lot just to get that flatness right in through here, and the back, just getting that longer
Yep.
flat in through. So, I did most of the roughing out and getting the flat surfaces with, especially this front side here with with the draw knife. So that was definitely helpful. Yeah, trying to get that all flat and smooth with just a regular knife. The draw knife just is almost like you can get the whole blade in through.
Yeah.
And get that slope right through and have it.
Yeah, that's.
But even with that, it was right at that point where they're both, you bring the draw knife down this edge in this way, and then bringing it in here. There's this transition here, and then I tried with the knife trying to get it all.
Yeah.
It was driving me a little crazy. And
it's definitely the hardest, the trickiest part of this particular implement. When you're trying to make it, that's the challenge, without a doubt.
Yeah, and I've done this wood before, which, like, with not cedars. Somebody had given me cedar, so cedar was the first time using it. But it's similar to, I had juniper. And, it also has that problem with where the grain changes and around the knots and things like that. The juniper was probably even worse than this one, but.
Well, it came out fantastic. You did a great job.
And then I did another one similar.
Nice.
See this?
I like the handle on that. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, so it's similar, but I kind of threw a little bit more crank in it. I didn't realize it until I put it up with the template. But I guess if that Spurtle that's non-traditional, it's more like a spatula, it will work well with that. And the nice dip up in here. It fits the
thumb. Yeah.
thumb in. It's very comfortable in the handle on the backside.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that looks super comfortable to use.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just fits right in the palm there. So if you're looking to
Yep.
scoop it, I was happy with the feel of it and having almost like that thumb rest in right into
Yeah.
it was nice.
I like it.
And the wood came out, and the same thing. I had to basically sand that out and
Yeah.
deal with that. But yeah,
Excellent.
thanks.
Wonderful. They look fantastic. And I really like that what you did with the thumb rest in there. I think that's a really neat feature to add. Very cool. All right. Any questions or comments for Jurgen? All right. I'm going to slip back out now to gallery. And who would like to go next? Wave a hand. Anybody? All right, Suzanne. Let me spotlight you. Be sure to take yourself off mute.
Hi.
Hello. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing
Long time
well.
no see.
Yeah, I know.
So this is mine. Oh, can you see?
That is awesome. That's fantastic. I love it.
I couldn't figure out this bump here. So
Yeah.
that puzzled me for days on end. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. And then finally I saw a dragon head in it and just went with that and thought, yep.
I love it. That is so cool. What a brilliant idea to make the spatula his tongue. I love it.
It's comfortable.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it turned
Beautiful
out better
paint
than
job,
I
too.
expected. Thank you.
Yeah.
It looks like two
Hard
pieces
to
of
see.
wood.
Right. It really
Yeah,
does.
definitely.
Yeah, it looks like it was like put together. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not. It's one piece. So
Yeah. Brilliant
Did you say what kind
design.
of wood it was?
Sorry.
What kind of wood is it?
It's lime basswood. It has it had like a mistake here, so you can see there's like a bit of a crack or something.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it looks kind of nice.
Yeah, I think it looks great.
And the funny
It's
thing
not
is,
a mistake.
I only,
It's a feature.
yeah, it's a feature. It's not a bug.
That's right.
The funny thing is, I only painted a bit of red here and not on the rest of it because you need it for cooking. And it still looks kind of pink. So it looks like I painted the whole thing, but like your mind is playing tricks on you, I think.
Yeah. Really,
Yeah.
really neat.
That's mine.
Nice.
Love it. That is just such a brilliant idea. You always come up with something so creative. It's amazing.
I had to. It's your template. I had to up it a notch.
So you had to come up with something where you're sticking your tongue out at me, right? Oh. Nice. Excellent job. Great, Suzanne.
Thank you.
All right. Drop back out to the gallery. All right. That's a tough act to follow. Who would like to go next? Don't be shy. Come on. All right, John. Let me spotlight you here real quick. Remember to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
So this is crab apple.
Nice.
Pretty much exactly the template.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say there was a lot of shave horse and draw knife and spoke shave.
Yep.
The only real knife on this was the handle to get to the shape I wanted, and then I cleaned it all up with sandpaper, several layers of sandpaper, just because you could see there's starting to be some nice tiger stripes, and it was just the wood was just so pretty that I just had to try to lift it up. So I'm gonna turn my light on for 1 second and blind myself so you can see it. Is that better?
Yeah, it's a little bit better. I can't see much detail in the grain, but it's really pretty from what I can see.
Yeah, my great
Beautiful
lighting.
job on the finish on it.
It's really pretty. It came out really nice.
Yeah,
Love the handle's nice.
feels good.
Yeah, it feels really good. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be used a lot. It's a great shape
Yeah.
for scooping and moving, and
Yep.
cool. I guess you press down sausage, separate
Yeah.
out the egg. I guess it's a breakfast implement. So
Yeah.
those
As soon as
Scottish
I
guys, they
carved,
really
as soon as I carved the one for my friend, I almost was like, I have to carve another one. I never got around to it, but I've always been wanting to get back to it and make one. So yeah, it looks like a super useful breakfast tool without a doubt.
yeah, I don't know why breakfast, but it seems like for breakfast. So
Yeah, or for
whatever.
I suppose you could flip hamburgers. You could flip just about anything with it, but pretty cool. But
I
for
eat breakfast for dinner too, so
there you go. Yeah,
There
breakfast
you go.
anytime. I love it. Well,
That's all I have.
I heard a story years ago that what we think of as the quote unquote traditional breakfast, eggs, bacon, toast, orange juice, at least here in the US anyway, like that was like that was a manufactured concept, so to speak, by the egg industry to promote eggs as a breakfast staple. So I don't know. That's the story I heard anyway.
Okay.
All right. Well,
All right.
excellent job. Let me drop back out here to the gallery view. Great job, John. Thank you. All right. Who would like to go next? All right, Sonny. Let me spotlight you. Oh, and I should mention, once again, thank you, Sonny, as always, for your wonderful work on the templates. The next RUAC Spoon Challenge 29 template is posted, and this one is basically an axing template by Rachel. So we are going to do a axing conversation and demo, not next weekend, but I think the following weekend, the first weekend in December. So it'll be a Saturday morning, same usual time, 9 a.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. UK, and we'll basically be axing out together and discussing Rachel's template. And then it's up to each person to decide how they're going to put it into a final spoon form. So you're free. It's basically just it's a template that's getting you to the rough out stage, and then you decide how you're going to finish it. And thank you, Sonny, for putting together the PDF and getting it posted to our website, as always.
No problem, Chuck. What I would add to that is there are some instructions on there as far as the lowest point of the crank and the widest part of the bowl. So it's going to lead, if you follow those instructions, to a fig shaped bowl. And I think that it's a good way to conceptualize the design and think about what's possible within that kind of set of constraints.
Mm-hmm.
So just another way to build skill and get some guidance, but not all the way down to the exact shape that you're going for. So I hope everyone enjoys it, and it's kind of a new style or an idea towards a template, and it's supposed to be a challenge. So enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely, brilliant idea.
So the one that I carved is in walnut, obviously, because I carve a lot of things in walnut. I did a similar type of design about 4 months ago, based on a request from a friend, like Chuck said. They had seen some TV commercials or web commercials, I guess, web ads for these plastic ones, and they wanted to know if I could make one in wood. And I said, well, sure, no problem. That one I made was fully sanded, and it was given as a gift. And then this template came up, and I was like, I need to make another one and try a little bit narrower design, which I didn't really go as narrow as I probably should have. It ended up being quite the boat paddle.
Hey,
But-
well, if you get stuck out and your paddle drifts off when you're on your canoe trip, there you go. You're all set.
This will be a good backup paddle.
That's right.
But I think the challenge is obviously the low spot here is a little bit of a difficult transition. But I think also doing the hollow on the back, I was really tentative and hesitant at first to do that. And it was just like, we'll give it a shot. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe I won't. I do like the ergonomics. It kind of sets the blade at a certain angle in your hand.
Yeah.
So this one is just carved yesterday, Chuck. So there's no excuse to not have time.
I know.
but I do plan on probably sanding it because it needs the edges radiused in order to be more useful. It's still a little thick to be a real flipper. But yeah, this is what I got done.
I got to tell you, I was tempted to try and get one roughed out yesterday, and I was thinking to myself, I don't know if my bandsaw is strong enough because I've just got a small bandsaw. Because I was thinking I could bandsaw out the shape, take it to the belt sander, and like bang one out in like an hour. I was like, oh, that's gonna be so cheating. I can't do that. So I left it alone. But I think I will try one with a draw knife and all blade work. And then I'm going to try another one using the machines. And I'm curious to see, time-wise, how different it would be and how it comes out and how it feels.
So my perspective on a lot of it, it's not even the time or how it feels. It's like, how is the process enjoyable?
Right. Well, there's that. Yeah.
I obviously have a lot of power tools here, and it's like, there's a reason why I don't use them on spoons, because it's noisy, it's dusty, it's a different kind of process.
Absolutely.
And I think that machines have their places, but for spoon carving, I try to make it a more relaxable, enjoyable kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, yes, I use a draw knife quite a bit, but I think that still counts as a hand tool in my opinion. So,
absolutely. I totally agree. It's like bringing Sloyd and anti-Sloyd matter together. What happens?
So thanks again. Thanks everyone for participating, and it's good to see you.
Awesome. Great job, Sonny. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Drop back out to the gallery. Who would like to go next? Come on, don't be shy. All right, Bonnie, let me get you spotlighted. And remember to unmute yourself.
There we go.
There you go.
Well, speaking of cheating and using power tools, I looked at this template and saw this as an opportunity to put some of my wood turning skills to work. For quite a few years, I've been making items like this, which are quite similar, not quite, sort of similar. I could put this between centers on the lathe and turn the handle and basically sand to shape.
Yeah.
I use these types of things in the kitchen all the time. And I give them away as gifts. And so my
nice.
This is the second template or the second challenge I've participated in. I've started lots of challenges, but I haven't finished a lot of them. But this one kind of excited me because I could see the opportunity to put it between centers. I did turn the handle and roughed out the shape on the bandsaw, and I took my knives to it. And I enjoy the carving part. And as Sonny said, carving the spoons is a very pleasing, addictive kind of thing. But I have to admit, I did a lot of sanding on this, and it was dusty, but I did finish it. And I plan to use this in the kitchen. I see this as a very usable kind of tool. So
yeah,
I'm excited about the
excellent. It's spectacular. It looks fantastic. This
is hawthorn, and it wasn't really nice to carve. It was still green when I started, but it is a dusty process, and but
yeah,
everything is sanded. It's all totally smooth. But this is a nice tool.
Yeah, awesome.
So I'm ready to use it.
Good. I don't know if you saw in the chat, Kate posted, "Damn, that's gorgeous, Bonnie," and Kaelin says, "Lovely." So yeah, what they said, excellent. Fantastic job. And I love, that's interesting. I've seen, I think Barn the Spoon references like turned spoons and, variations of that. So it's really cool to see, somebody doing that. Yeah. Very nice. I like those.
Yeah, I use them all the time in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Very functional. Stir fry stuff.
Yep. Excellent. Well, great idea for taking and applying that same process to this template. Wonderful job. All right. Let me drop back out to the gallery. All right. Who would like to go next? Wave a hand. Don't be shy. All right. Mozzie, our very own spoon fairy. All right. Mozzie man. Unmute yourself. Yep.
No shirt today. It's hanging on the wall behind me.
Awesome.
So, let me turn my camera around and I'll. So this was a fun one, Chuck. I've made similar things before, but this one took me in a new direction, and I absolutely love it.
I'm so psyched to see somebody with the faceted handle like that, because that's what I was thinking of trying if I had gotten around to actually making one.
Yeah, it just kind of came naturally that I intended to do a round one, but I don't believe in sandpaper. I'm a purist, so.
Okay.
The facets just came together, but yeah, this was a fun one, and it has already been in use in the kitchen. I actually had to pull it out and clean it up because to photograph it, because my wife instantly stole it and used it in the kitchen. So,
nice. Now it looks like, did you hollow it?
Yeah, I did. It's got a little bit of a bowl to it, and
nice.
At her request, and I think this is the only tool we've used this week in the kitchen, honestly. So it has a ton of use, and I'd be interested to make it without the hollow and see how I like it. But the little bit of a hollow is great. It's so useful.
I kind of like that idea. I never thought of it, but that's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
I love the faceting, definitely. So very cool. Excellent job. Yeah, I got to give that a try. Well done, Moz. Any questions? And did you run into any issues hollowing on a wide surface like that? Was it a challenge?
No, not really. It was just kind of like with a shallow hook,
Yeah.
It's really that hard. And no, just go easy at it. I could see where this is black cherry, and
okay.
I let it mellow. The wood mellowed a little bit. It wasn't completely green, so that probably, I think, prevents the tear out a little bit. But other than that, no, it was good.
Awesome. All right. Great job, Moz. All right, let me drop back out to the gallery. Who would like to go next? Wave a hand. All right, Patrice.
So I got this beautiful chunk of black acacia wood and had started axing it out. And so it ended up being just slightly smaller than the template. So I did the template at like 90%.
Nice.
And then I just kept having Rachel and Craig's words in my head, like, when you axe, just keep going, just make it thinner, make it thinner. So I did most of, I got it really slim in the axing, which really helped with the knife work. So I actually went a lot faster than I usually do with my template spoons.
Okay.
And the wood cooperated. It was really hard, but still fairly easy to carve. And
was it dry?
No, I soaked it in a bucket of water overnight, and then I axed it and got it fairly thin. Yeah. And then I just used just a knife and a hook knife to get this as smooth as possible. It had pretty good knife finish, pretty shiny knife finish, but there were some places with the wood grain change where there were some snags because the black acacia is kind of stringy. Okay. And so I did go back and sand those areas, and then they looked really good. And so then I went back and I sanded over, but I didn't take any like material off. Sanding, just kind of smooth it. So I'm pleased with how it turned out and the color.
Yeah, well, you should be. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, the wood came out really nice, but I'm not sure. I've only coated it in like a hemp seed oil, and when I had soaked the black acacia, like a lot of tannin came out, like a lot of dark water was in the bucket when I took the spoon out. I'm not sure, what would you guys recommend for a wood that released that much dark color? Do you think the oil would keep that in, or would use over time kind of make the color all wash out and blend together? Any ideas?
Don't know. The only thing, I would think that in terms of, any of the hardening oils, I would think it forms a coating over it. So I would think that that would protect it from having color actually wash out. Of course, that finish will wear over time, so then it may become more exposed again. But I'm no expert when it comes to finishes. So anybody else here have any thoughts on Patrice's question there? Feel free to unmute yourselves and speak up if you do.
What I would say, Patrice, is this is Sonny, and I have a whole bunch of black walnut spoons that I use. And the oil coating does protect them a little bit, but they still get worn. They still turn a little bit gray over time, and I think that that's just character that you're adding to it. So do your best at what, finishing you have, whether it's hemp seed oil or anything else, and then just enjoy it as it kind of ages and, gets used.
Okay.
I think that's the best philosophy, at least.
All right, cool. Well, thanks, Chuck, for the template. It was not something I would have thought of making, but
awesome.
The challenge was cool, and it's definitely going to get a lot of use, like everyone else has said, because it seems like a very practical, fun tool. So.
Awesome. Excellent. Well, that's a beautiful, beautiful job on it. It looks fantastic. Well done. All right. Let me drop back out to the gallery. Who would like to go next? Wave a hand. Jump up and down, scream, stand on your head, do something. All right, Michael. Let me spotlight you. There you go.
All right, I'll get started here. Yeah, thanks for the template, Chuck. Really fun. I think, really nice change of pace. I've done some spurtles previously, but, definitely the way you had the handle on this one, with this sort of bump at the neck, I think that was, that really makes it stands out. Really fun part of the challenge. But I had some wood challenges on this one. So this is sycamore maple. It was a tree that came down in the neighborhood. So we got that. So I was a little challenged on this one because I wanted to keep the dark, the dark wood. So I really couldn't quite put the swoop in there. The rise. You can see it's pretty flat, but just really wanted to keep the brown. But it was good practice there.
It's gorgeous. It's beautiful wood. I definitely would have made the same choice to keep that. That's really well done.
So this is super fun. So this is the sycamore burl. I scored my Wade Juju connection sent me up with some sycamore burl, which is just crazy stuff. This was, again, I got the wood challenge problems here. This was not supposed to be this size. It was more supposed to be this size, but just sitting there, the stupid thing just started checking on me. So I had to do some trimming, and had problems in the handle. It's kind of got this crazy curve. It's like
I love it. I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to take this in, and my wife is going to look at me and go, what? How much did you have to drink tonight? What's up with you? So, but yeah, no, it's.
I think it looks super elegant. That swoop in there looks amazing.
Yeah, thanks. This one I did probably more so than the other ones, but there is a little bit of a bowl here. I really kind of like that. Mozzie did it, and his, I really kind of like it too. My approach with it, it's just, I only do it for, shallow things like this. I use a little palm gouge. you know, so it's probably a one or two sweep. I forget what it is, but you know, you just come at it, you know, from the sides down into the center. But I really, you know, that's one of the things I really like is to get that just a little bit of a shallow bowl on it. But anyways, so those were my big wood challenges. Then right here, I think we were starting to get dialed in on the shape. This is more the sycamore maple. This one, it was annoying. There was a hidden bark inclusion in there, so that's going to be a problem. But you know, I do like the shape. It's hard to see with the light. Oh, there we go. That's, you know,
that's really pretty.
Yeah, you know. But again, you know, I like, you know, doing that handle with the bump on it. You know, I think that really is sort of a unique feature of this one. So that I think is pretty. And then this one, I finally think I got one where. So this was in this. There's good pictures on this online, but you know, I got this sort of the you know, there was some dark heartwood in this spoon, and I just ended up with a piece, you know, where we just popped, got a little bit on the end of the handle there. So
I love it.
Yeah, that one I was really happy. And there's, you know, curl. I guess there's some nice curl and figure right in this part of the handle, and I think you could probably, you should be able to see there. It curved. There's a little bend right here. And you know, there you can see from the wood, you know, there's some funny stuff going on with the grain there. So it bent itself.
When it was drying.
There's another spoon I did here with the same wood where the handle really bent on me. So the stuff is
I like those types of things, man. I think they give a lot of character to the spoon. I think it's neat.
Yeah. So, but yeah, again, it was, you know, and you know, one of the nice things about this is it was a neighborhood tree, you know, worked with the homeowner, you know, worked with the tree guys that came out, you know, was like, hey, we want this for spoons. And everybody was like, oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to work with you. And so, you know, we've got a whole bunch of the stack of this stuff. So
that's really pretty wood. Yeah.
It'll be blanks for Seattle Spoon Club. So that's going to get shared out to the community. There's Elizabeth is going to help me cut it up, but we'll get it all shared out. And actually later this morning, I'm going to take these over to the homeowner. And, you know, I told her, you know, wanted to let her have one of them. So one of these will go back to the homeowner. And
brilliant.
My guess is she's picking this one, but yeah.
Yeah, it's good. They're all gorgeous. They're absolutely beautiful. So you sand all your items, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
And are you hand sanding or are you using a power sander at all?
No, it's all hand sanded.
Okay.
You know, I mean, so another, actually, you know, this is something I should probably say too, but you know, particularly with these bowls, these flatter shapes, what I really love to use is the gooseneck cabinet scraper.
Okay. Yeah.
And they work great, and you can use it. They will actually, you know, start to sort of hollow that out. You know, but with this one, you know, once it gets down to the shape, you know, I love, you know, and the handles, the scraper will clean up the handles, you know, really pretty quick. And after that, you know, after that scraper, you know, the sanding, it's fine. You know, you just get it cleaned up with 150. And then, you know, it's just pretty quick to, you know, go through the grits to, you know, put a nice finish on it. And then, you know, particularly when you get the curl on the figure, you know, the sanding, I think really, you know, it's going to be hard to see the figure, you know, if you don't get it sanded up. So,
I mean,
sometimes that cabinet scraper, just even leaving the finish with the cabinet scraper is nice too. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
I know, I'm sure we've mentioned it on here before. I know lately Don Nalagetti has been doing a lot with polishing paper or, you know, the polishing film, where he'll take like I've got one of his spoons where the handle was taken, it was glass. I mean, it was like glass smooth. And I've never seen a tool finished handle get like that. And I could imagine that, like doing that on even just the bowl, you know, the part where it's in your mouth would make it feel just so amazing.
Personally, I love, you know, one of the things I really crave is to have that just glassy smooth handle when you pick it up. I mean, that's what I really like. So,
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well done.
All right. Polishing paper?
So it's a very high, basically it's a very high grit. So it's the type of thing that they might use even for polishing metal, or for sanding like auto body work, stuff like that. Like it can go up to like, I think it's like 14,000, grit or something like that. Like it's insanely, like as you work your way up through, and it literally, like on some of his, like I said, some of his spoons he's been doing it on, and they are just like polished glass. It's incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if I'd have the patience to do it, but yeah, it's spectacular.
I think it goes surprisingly fast once you really have it sanded. It goes surprisingly fast. But and the harder the wood, sort of the more polished it gets. So you get a really hard wood, and it's I did some
if you're doing much with basswood and stuff like that, it'll only get to a certain point. But like this was a cherry spoon that I had of his, and it was just like a glass finish on the handle. That was just amazing. So, all right, excellent job. Thank you, Michael. Who would like to go next? Wave a hand, stand on your head, do something. All right, Kaelin.
Hello. Thank you, Chuck, for this template. It was really fun to do. My billet was a bit small that I had accessible, so I didn't have one that was wide enough for the blade or thick enough for the full kind of crank swoop. So mine is a slightly smaller variation. I guess I'll flip like silver dollar pancakes with this.
That's cool.
But the billet was long, so I also took the handle and stretched it out. And so this is the overall profile. When I was doing my stop cuts, I ended up doing them angled, which meant that my neck was super thin compared to what I thought it would be. Just because my stop cuts were a bit big, so I didn't do the extra kind of looping around here. I kept it as thick as possible.
Yep.
And then I did chip carving, and I chip carved and painted.
Love it.
And
that's awesome.
The design is one that I got off of an art print on Etsy, and then I kind of put my own spin to it. But
brilliant.
It's kind of a purpley thistle lavender color, and then a darker green blue.
I gotta tell you, it almost looks like there's a face in the green body of that thistle.
Oh, cool.
That was I was just sitting here looking at it, like it almost looked like a little face in there, like a little fairy face or something. That would be awesome.
Thistle spirit.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed this. I joked a lot when my billet was more rough. It looked like a clown shoe. I couldn't get over the fact that it was like a cartoon clown shoe. But I hope that I got a little more elegance than a clown shoe at the very end.
Oh, absolutely. It looks fantastic.
And then I don't know about all of you, but when I was doing finishing cuts, like you can't do the cutting this way. I did a lot of knife. I did some draw knife while roughing out, but my draw knife's not sharp enough to get nice cuts. But trying to finish like this top bit, cutting down here. I don't know how you all held it, but that was an incredibly difficult cut position that felt a little insecure. So I don't know if anyone has any tips on getting like that nice, smooth finish cut on it in this spot, just when it's such a long item and it's not as easy to like balance as a spoon is when you're trying to cut here. So if there's anyone that has good tips for that, I would love to hear it. Eventually I'd like to
hold it up against your chest.
I do hold it up against my chest, but it's like the blade when I was here, I just didn't know how to hold it. Like you're kind of doing this type of a thing. And like, it's such a thin.
Right. There's not a lot to grip. Yeah.
Maybe I should have held it all the way down here and just like really stabilized it to do this.
Yeah. I started like this and then put the knife in the palm at the hand, and then squeeze, and I start squeezing, and then I squeeze the hand,
the hand
to start that cut up there.
Okay.
So then I just use the fingers to actually push the cut in, and then use the hand to finish it down through.
That's helpful, Jurgen. Thank you. That's awesome. Thanks. Yeah, they're great. I made one, and I'm hoping to do a full size, larger one, because I do think, like a lot of people said, that it could be a useful thing in the kitchen. This one, I have no idea what I'm doing with it. I feel like it's too small to flip anything of meaning, but maybe.
Well, you'd be surprised. I think it could be useful. I mean, I don't know. I think you can get away. Like I flipped eggs with just like a little narrow metal spatula before. So you could do eggs, I'm sure, with it. You could do like even toast. Like if you're doing French toast or something like that, you could flip it. You don't need as much surface area as you think you need for a flipper, but for stirring as well, I think it would be fine for stirring anything in a pot if you're making a sauce or anything like that. So.
Kaelin,
if you don't know for what to use it, you can send it to me.
That's right. Yeah. I'm sure I can find you. It'll make a perfect art piece hanging on my wall.
It turned out pretty well, but thank you all.
That's gorgeous. Well done, Kaelin. All right. Who would like to go next? Wave, say hello, say me.
Okay, I go.
All right. Let me get you spotlighted, Poggy.
Just have to oil it.
Oh, okay.
Hang on, but that's
Yep,
always
no.
good.
Well, we're here. Everybody stand by.
I just have to get the bloody thing open. So
get your girlfriend, she'll open it for you.
Yeah, it just exited out about 2.5 hours ago, and
wow,
thank you for the motivation to Craig, he isn't there, to Patrice and to John. They motivated me this morning to give it a try. So I've seen a couple of wonderful of these spurtles, spatulas, and so that's it. It's cherry.
We'll call it a spurtula.
Spurtula, okay. Yeah. Like I said, I have to oil it. It's already done, I think.
It looks great.
Nice and flexible, and So to be honest, I had difficulties with the handle because I thought, to make it round, it's but then Mozzie, then I saw your facets and thought, oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah. And I just want to oil it now and see how it is, and then I can maybe do some stuff on it or just make another one. I think it will be a good present too, and I'm looking forward tomorrow to use it for pancakes.
Awesome. Great job, Dominic. Looks great. That's amazing. You banged it out in just a couple hours. Well done. All right. We drop back out to the gallery. Who would like to go next? Don't be shy. Come on. Does anybody else have, are there folks on here who do not have one to share, that are just here to listen in? Hey, Rachel. Hey, Jody. All right, so is there anybody who's not had a chance to go yet that has one that they want to share? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, then we've gotten through everybody, I guess. So if that's the case, I will switch over to the Instagram and we'll walk through the feed and see what we've got. Let me refresh it real quick, and then I'll share my screen. Oh, before I do that, one quick question. Did anybody else have that? I've seen this done for like normal flipper type things, right? Where they have slots cut in the flat of the blade, right? And I'm assuming that that's to reduce friction, to make it easier for sliding underneath things like pancakes or eggs or whatever, and being able to do the flip. I was wondering, what do people think about putting slots in this spurtula design? Because that was one of the ideas that I had of trying. Has anybody tried slotted designs before?
You might be getting a little bit close to a fork.
Sorry, Rachel, what were you saying? And then Michael?
I was just saying I've not tried it, but I think it would be worth doing. And I had a customer pretty recently saying, oh, I want a spoon that's got a hole in. I said, Why do you want a spoon that's got a hole in? They said you get twice as much stirring for the same effort. And I don't know whether that's based in any sort of scientific fact, but I quite like the thought, 2 spoons for the price of 1.
Well, I have seen like spoons with holes that people use for stirring, because I don't know whether it like allows stuff flowing through. If somehow there's something to liquid physics that causes it to agitate better if there's a hole in the design versus not a hole in the design. The only thing I could think,
that's perform the same purpose, mustn't they? If you put slots in, it's just exactly the same. You've got an extra function.
Right. Well, for me, the thought there was, especially is reduced friction. So it's less surface area to stick against whatever the food is that you're trying to flip or turn. But from a stirring perspective, maybe there's something to liquid dynamics that there's an advantage to having openings in the spoon, aside from obviously, allowing liquid to drain as you are lifting, say, something out. If you wanted something that would get chunks and not broth out of a soup or a stew or something like that. So you weren't getting excessive amounts of broth. I don't know. I wasn't sure if there was some other reason for having holes. Anyway, a diversion. Go ahead.
I recently saw somebody doing a video where they had like the spoon with the big hole in the middle, and then you squeeze it down on dough, like pretty much liquid dough, and you scoop off the bit that comes off and throw it in boiling water, and it gives you like something like gnocchi, or not dumplings, but like I don't know the English word for it. Spatula, knöpfle.
So you push it down, you pull off a bit of the dough, you drop it into boiling water, so it's like a dumpling, I assume.
Yeah, and then it solidifies, of course, when it's cooked, right?
Go ahead, Kate.
Well, as a woodworker purist, when it comes to strength, I would say that be very, very careful of slots when you don't have straight grain, because like if it dips up and you're carving without a crook, this is like somewhat short grain, right? So like I wouldn't want to create little like thin channels. You know what I mean? Like those little in-between parts would be liable to break.
Yeah.
And whereas when it's all together like this, it has like the adjoining.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't need to, I'm preaching to the choir, but like I would just be very careful of making sure my grain was.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah. Continuous grain, And then
interesting. So maybe something that's a curved, if you're using like a curved branch or something like that for your material might be better. Yeah.
Did anyone try carving it flat and then putting the bend in just by steaming it or
steam bending it?
Yeah, because if I'd been up to carving, that's what I would have done, because then you could have oriented the whole of the flat bit so that you could more easily carve against or with the grain, and then just get it nice and thin and then bend it afterwards. That's
a brilliant idea. Yeah, that's a really good thought.
Or
excellent.
Maybe use instead of a radial cut, a tangential one, like this one. And then, because I think I can imagine that the grain for the hole could be stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of a radial, tangential.
Didn't Kyle recently make like a scoop like that with like longer?
Yeah, I've seen one recently too. Yeah.
Very cool.
I got to think about that. I get confused. I get so confused with grain orientation and knowing which is better or worse in given scenarios. I mean, I understand the short grain concept, but yeah. All right. Well, cool thoughts. Thanks. All right. I'm going to share screen and we can start looking through some of the Instagram posts. How do I share? There we go. Share and screen 2. You guys able to see my screen? You guys able to see my screen okay? Somebody speak up.
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So that was just the template. So we'll jump in over here. Jeff Fryette, there's his version. It looks like he has a little, is that a little bird on top? Almost looks like a minimalist Dan Lawrence type bird. That's really cool. All right, beautiful job, Jeff. Gorgeous stuff. JC. Nice. Yeah, where's our... Nobody's around. Really nice. All right, nice job. Wow, he went to town. 4 of them. Nice. Oh, nice. A little chip carving in the handle action there. Oh, I like that. That's really pretty. That's your tangent. Nice. By the way, folks, feel free to unmute yourselves and that way it won't just be me. Layout. Banksia. It's another one, very narrow, skinny one from Jeff. Baked cherry. Very nice. Mr. Radar. Who's Mr. Radar? Anybody know this person? That's a nice one. Looks great. Nancy. Beautiful. One in fresh oak, never again. And one in plum. Whoops, wait a minute. What happened? Did I go too? I jumped. Sorry. Where was I? Did I get through all of these? 2, 3. There we go. Okay, that was what I was trying to do. All right. Nice. Wow, that cedar really is gorgeous, Jurgen.
Jurgen, did that flex less?
Say that again.
Sorry, my audio is really bad. I was wondering if the cedar is flexible because it's a little bit of a softer wood, or is it holding pretty strong?
It does. Yeah, no, it doesn't really have a flex. I mean, it's maybe just a little bit if you really put some pressure on it, but it's not. It's holding pretty good.
Oh, that's good to know. That's beautiful. We have a ton of cedar out here, and I just never carved with it.
You know, it's soft to carve. It goes in nice. It's got the beautiful color. It's just it's just the grain. You know, where the grain changes. It's kind of got like these very, very thin layers.
Yeah.
And so, you know, trying to get them to to overlap each other just right.
Yeah, it tears out pretty mean.
Is it aromatic?
Yeah, it smells
good. Is it
good.
aromatic cedar?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you get your hand, you smell your hands and everything. It's just, I love that smell. It's really nice. And then Yeah,
I'm
you
just
gotta
wondering,
watch.
does it impart like a taste or a smell to food at all as a cooking implement?
It's a cooking. I don't know if it would once you start using it. Maybe I don't know if it would. That'd be interesting. I'll have to find out. I never used it for cooking utensils.
Or
Yep.
just salmon or things that you want that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like cedar planks. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it did definitely when you're trying to chunk out big pieces, you get the big it tears out.
Yeah.
But
It could serve double duty though. You could store it with all your kitchen towels to keep the moths away. All right. That's gorgeous work.
That's so pretty, Patrice.
Yeah.
The
nice.
cedar plank that's used for cooking salmon is usually white cedar.
Ah.
Mm.
Which
Good,
is
good
miserable
point.
stuff to work with.
Good point of clarification there.
I would try this in different wood grains. Just, I think the shape lends itself well to like really featuring. If you have like a nice wide section of wood grain.
Yeah, that looks really nice.
That is absolutely gorgeous.
That is beautiful.
But the handle was like kind of crunchy and stringy. So
Yeah.
tearing
That
out.
right there is my favorite picture. You just get all that detail.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's amazing how this P and this diamond just appear naturally in the grain like that.
You get the treated grill like that.
Is that a stamp or do you kill roast that in? Or how's that?
I coal roast it in about 5 minutes because I had a narrow window of time for good lighting for photos. It's like, oh, maker's mark. It didn't really show up that well because of all the wood grain competing with it. But like someone said, it just kind of looks organic.
Yeah, it looks good in the picture.
It looks right. Yeah.
Or I just rushed it. One of the two.
That's beautiful. Well done. Mr. Glendinning. This is interesting how he's got even more of like a pronounced little kind of dip and swoop in there. I like the what was he did like a is that milk paint rubbed, like was it 2 different layers with it or is that just the wood color coming through?
Got a little chip going in there, huh?
I think it might be the wood grain color coming through, but I'm not sure.
Very cool.
Looks like he brushed off the milk paint off.
Yeah, like rubbed it afterwards to rub down the high points. Yep. Nice. Wow. Those are just gorgeous.
Thanks, Chuck.
This one is amazing. I mean, they're all amazing, but just that coloration and then some of the curl, in there, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's it was fun wood to work with. Yeah,
Wow, look at that! It's like looking at a Van Gogh painting.
Yeah, I mean, so lucky to get that stuff. Yeah, I've got another chunk of it, but it's really kind of checking. You get in like in the little eyes. Sometimes you get little checks. I've given up. It's like I'm not gonna sit there and stress over it. It's like if it checks, it checks.
Yep.
Yeah, you really have to sand that stuff to keep it.
That is just amazing.
But yeah, I mean, the sycamore just by itself, the sycamore is already really, really cool. I mean, I love that grain, but then burl on top.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I could get lost in this. Just trying. It looks like a river with rocks and stones and water flow and just gorgeous. That really is mesmerizing. Really, really beautiful, beautiful. I mean, not just, I mean, the wood is gorgeous, but the forms themselves really,
organic
I
flow.
think, with their own sinuousness, accentuate the beauty of the grain. It's really beautiful job.
If you go back to earlier pictures, a couple of those are almost a template. Like, I don't know if he's not feeling well, like it almost.
Right, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, very close to the template, yeah.
He had a
Yeah,
bad
that
month.
third
He
one
couldn't come
pretty
up with anything
close. I don't
special on that one.
Were you drunk?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but they're like, it's so organic feeling, it's got this beautiful flow to it, just really beautiful. I'm failing for words to describe what I'm trying to convey here, but really beautiful work is all I can say. Really nice, John. This is spectacular too. That's lovely.
That first one was the pre-oil, and then I oiled it and tried to put it in the same spot.
Now that shows the curl much better.
Yeah.
You see that curl there on the previous picture?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right in there.
Great photo.
Beautiful. Great pictures. Yeah. Really nice setting for them and beautiful light. I love the beautiful smoothness of your finished piece against the roughness of the raw wood.
Yeah. And you can see some of that ripple in the pictures too, in the handle there. And that's so pretty.
And depth of field, great usage as well.
Okay, so I have a Pixel 4 and I use the portrait.
Yeah.
And it helps me tremendously. They look a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, the depth of playing around with depth of field to get your background where you don't need it blurred out is really useful.
Yeah, that's all automatic with that selection.
Nice. Really nice job. Excellent. Mr. Beach, we have to change your name to Walnut. Sonny Walnut. Different kind of beach, I know, but still. Nice. You people with your beautiful wood. Not bad. Love that knot right there. That's really, that's just the, is that actually a knot?
There's a knot there, and if you look up at the handle, you can see I had a knot going right up on the handle. You can, if you go back of the back one, you can almost see the curve. The one you were on, you go back, you can see right. It was on the side there. It went through it. I cut the whole knot out, but right there where you.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, you can see how the grain was turning right there.
Yep.
So I had to. It was enough. I had enough material so I could actually remove the whole knot, but then the wood was curving around it.
Really, really. This is another one where the flow of the grain around just with the color variations and then the flow of the grain lines through it. It's just really mesmerizing to me. Really beautiful. Dave's carving. Nice.
Dave's not on, right? We tried to talk him into coming on.
Is he from your club?
No, he's
Carves
pretty
with us in the
new.
evening.
Oh, in the evenings?
West Coast of Canada, and this is his second template. And
yeah, I think this is the second
did an
one.
amazing job.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Just knives. And it looks great.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Beautiful job.
Did anybody else think? Dave's not here, man.
No, I'm Dave. Open the door, man. Wow, really showing our age.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we knew Cheech and Chong before they were in reruns.
That's right.
I still have the Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke album with the original rolling paper in it.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie, the temptation has always been there, but it's worth a lot of money and I'm really cheap. So
there you go. Another Jeff Fryette. Yeah, that's good. He's love that little finial. It's not actually a bird, but it like has that bird-like feel to it to me.
Yeah, it's nice.
Really nice. Look at that. Again, just beautiful, beautiful grain in there.
Wow, those are beautiful.
What kind of wood is that? It's so flat.
It's so light.
Love it.
Clean.
That's so great.
That is such a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant idea. So well
You
done.
win the internet today. That's just awesome.
Yeah.
I love even just
That
the
really is.
detail
Every
around
time I
the,
see it, I have to laugh.
yeah, the detail around the eyes too. Like the eyes are so expressive with the little
Yeah.
indents around it. That's so good.
Well, even
You got
just
the
like the
mouth.
way the little curve of the snout
Yeah.
echoes the curve of the
Yeah, got the mouth right.
yeah.
That's
I mean, it was just perfect. Absolutely so well executed.
Yeah. So fun.
Susie, it looks like if you stick the tongue into the mouth of the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very nice.
Well, that's one where the it becomes the tail. When he pulls it back in, it actually comes out the other end and becomes his tail. You know, the other one that would work well for this is what's that frog, you know, that has the tongue that goes flying out and zaps the insects? Really cool. Such a great idea. I think that was that the last one? I think that was it.
Yeah.
I think
It could easily be a frog.
Yeah.
Chuck?
Yeah.
No, I did the wrong number on the challenge. Hang on, it can change it.
Oh, on your post?
Yeah. I made 27 instead of 28.
Oh, you're one behind, Dominic.
Yeah, just have to correct it.
Is there a photograph of Kaelin's Spurtle somewhere?
No, I just finished it this morning. I was really late on homework, so I haven't taken any photos of it yet.
Okay,
Wait a minute.
I'll look forward to that.
Yeah. Thank you for asking.
I don't remember seeing this one. Did we see this? Did I go through this?
That's so nice, Mozzie, with facets.
Yeah, I like the facets. I was thinking of the facets too. I was going to try like an octagonal handle. I like that a lot. Nice job. Nice picture. Yeah, we saw all these, right? Yep. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. And I think that's it then for this one. So as I mentioned before, Rachel has very kindly offered us up the next template. Rachel, do you want to say a few words about RUAC Spoon Challenge 29?
Yeah, sure. So it's what I call an axing template rather than a carving template. So a while ago, I decided that I wanted to standardize my eating spoons, but I didn't want to lose the opportunity to practice my drawing skills, because you only get better at drawing bowls if you keep on drawing bowls. So I decided that I would do a sort of hybrid way of making sure that the bowl size and the length of the handle versus the bowl was consistent, but that I would always hand draw the bowl on it. So I came up with this rectangular axing template, and that's what I'm going to share with you all. So my plan is that we'll do a demo at some point in the next few days, just showing how I use this. But basically, just use it. You draw this onto your wood, and then draw whatever size of bowl and shape of bowl you want to within the confines of that rectangle, and see where you go with it. The two lines on the left are two options that I use for crank. So sometimes I just do something nice and easy, straight down to the lowest point, and sometimes I put a little bit of an option for a dolphin hump towards the thank you. It's not usually quite that acute, but it's just to give you an idea that you might put a couple of angles in there rather than coming straight down, and see where you go with it. So after you've axed it, you're free to draw whatever. My handle always comes out thinner than that, because I'll always thin it down depending on how the wood feels. So it is an axing template, and you will get smaller than that when you actually draw your spoon on within those confines. So that's about all I've got to say. But
excellent.
Yep.
Were we still going to try and do a like you mentioned doing a demo? So are you talking about where you're going to do something, or where you're going to?
Yeah, my plan is to work something out with Kevin, and I don't think we'll probably publicize it much beforehand, but we'll aim to record it so that if people want to, so it'll be a sort of, if you're a newbie and you haven't done much before axing, then it'll be something that you can watch on YouTube and stop and start, and we'll sort of talk through how I use this to get to a spoon shape. At least that's the intention. It may not turn out like that, but that's the original plan, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, and then I know we had talked about, I think it was maybe going to be on a Saturday, doing sort of like a round table discussion of it, or did you still want to do that, or is this instead of that?
I can't remember the round table discussion idea. What was that?
I think where we were all going to just like simultaneously work on axing it out, and we could ask questions or anything like that.
We could try that as well. I'd forgotten that idea, which just shows what shape I'm in.
That's okay. That may be too much. You know what? Do your demo, and we'll leave it at that. I think we're good, and then we can talk offline if you have the energy and the time and the desire, and we can set something else up if it's if it makes sense. If not, that's cool.
Yeah. I know that sometimes lots of people axing and rise up can be difficult. It feels like
exactly. That's true.
Dangerous occupation, but we could have a chat. Joe.
Makes sense. All right, excellent. Well, thank you, Rachel. Looking forward to it. And with that, I think I'm going to draw this session to a close. So thank you so much, everybody, for participating. My apologies for being such a lame template person who didn't even carve his own template, but I have to catch up. It's just been a crazy life. So
it's a first. It's a first.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, thanks again, everybody, and really appreciate it. So with that, I'm going to end our recording. And yes, I want